What up, guys? Mad Viking here. We are sitting on the eve of a very special night in wrestling. Tomorrow is the launch show of All Elite Wrestling, Wednesday night Dynamite. What did Moxley call it? A paradigm shift. It's definitely got the wrestling world talking, tongues a wagging, so to speak. And I'm just basically going to give you the lowdown of the lineup tomorrow night and my thoughts on AEW and them moving forward. They've had, 5 pay-per-views. And all of them have been barn burners, basically. I know they can't keep that pace, but what do I know? They're not running pay-per-views every month. It's going to be every... I think they said they're going to have 4 a year? 5? I'd have to see that to believe it. But I watched a little bit of the special tonight, get everybody hyped to watch tomorrow. My thoughts with AEW is, well, they have a decent roster right now. Is it roster heavy? No, not in my opinion. I mean, they've already, like I said, had 4 or 5 pay-per-views. We've seen, in some cases, people already wrestle 4 or 5 times on a major pay-per-view. And that's one of the glaring factors in AEW. Granted, they're a young company, but they're funded by billionaires who are 5-6 times richer than McMahon. And I know the wrestling market's been just... pillaged by WWE and Vince and crew, and they don't want to just jump on anything, but it just shows there's not a lot on the roster beef-wise. I was a little shocked and disappointed when the Good Brothers re-signed with the WWE, Gallows and Anderson. You can't tell me that they wouldn't have had their offers matched by AEW or not given more. So, I mean, they had already won the tag titles there, and then they were sat in limbo for the rest of their time. So it did make me wonder, why did they stay with WWE? And granted, they're in the club right now, but they're already being wasted, and they had another title run that's just as unmemorable as the first. And I really like their work as a tag team. So basically, they're going to wrestle in the WWE now until they retire, and they're probably making $2 million a year. But I mean, that was a head scratcher that they didn't come join their friends in All Elite. I thought that was a given. Now, granted, they have picked up LAX, which was nice. FYI, if you don't know Tommorrow, that's who Chris Jericho's mystery partners are going to be. And that was a very big acquisition to acquire for the company. Now, other than Moxley, we haven't seen anybody else show up. And I would say after about the first 8 guys, all the rest are just like their friends. And some of them, I will agree with Jim Cornette on this, they're screwing up hiring their friends and not going out and getting bigger names. Like, why aren't they going out and trying to acquire the Briscoes or Jay Lethal or Dalton Castle? But instead, we get Michael Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler. It's nice that Brandon Cutler is their childhood friend. But, I mean, there are some questionable signees by All Elite Wrestling. And you can't get excited about those signees. I mean, the Michael Nakazawa gimmick oiling himself up to get out of, like, bear hugs and magic, it's old. And that's all he's got for a gimmick. That's all he's got going. And Brandon Cutler, we will see tomorrow night, but we haven't seen anything from him. I can't tell you if he's a good wrestler or not. He was in the first Casino Battle Royal. Nothing to remember. I know he was in it. Don't remember what happened with him. So, anyways, I'm going to go through tomorrow night's lineup, let you guys know. Of course, this is on TNT at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Let me see. Debut match on the card, which makes me believe this is going to be the first match. And I can see it happening because it's 3 of the Elite guys. And that will be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho with mystery partners who are Santana and Ortiz, formerly known as LAX. I think they're called the Boricuas now, and I hope not. I hope that's not their name. I mean, hell, they could call themselves LA Mex. I mean, if they really wanted to go that route. But this should be a great match. And for it to start off the show, yeah, it's going to be one of those beat that type of things. You basically have the top of their roster in the very first match on the card. Who do I think is going to win this? The feel-good moment would make everybody happy is Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, but this is a company that says wins matter. Chris Jericho is the champ, and Santana and Ortiz just joined the company. So you would think they would want to give them a rub, let everybody know, hey, these guys are special. So that's who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick Chris Jericho and Santana and Ortiz over the Bucks and Omega. I know it's not a popular pick, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. The old school wrestler in me has me picking that. Next up, I don't know if it's in order, we're going to have the first crowning of the AEW Women's Championship. The winner of this match, Nyla Rose versus Riho. I've noticed this week AEW has gone all out. If you didn't know that Nyla Rose was transgender, you do now. Which makes me think they're trying so hard. They're so thirsty for that PC coverage. Look at us. Look what we're doing here. I didn't know anything about Nyla Rose until she was signed with the company. And I can't say I've been overly impressed with her. Basically, she's a little short, 5'4", 5'2" chick that can throw around the 100-pound Asian girls, and that's about it. I've yet to see anything flashy or special out of this girl. And to me, that's one of the problems, is because everybody thinks she's going to win over Riho. And is that the route you're going to go as your first women's champion, a controversial title holder? The only reason I think Riho is going to win because she's Kenny Omega's pick. He brought her into the company. They're very good friends. And she's been wrestling since she was 9. It's an underdog story. And originally Britt Baker you could tell, she was penned. She was picked to be the first AEW's women's champion, and somewhere down the line it changed. Things changed. So my pick for this match, I think, is going to be Riho, because otherwise I think it's going to piss a lot of fans off. If you watch on Instagram and Twitter, people are being very vocal about this, and it's not going to fly. To impress a handful of SJWs who may watch wrestling, to have Nyla Rose beat Riho. So I would think they had her in the match to get some media attention, but I don't know, man. So I'm going to pick Riho to become the first ever AEW Women's Champion. Next up, we're going to have the match that we were supposed to have at All Out. Hangman Adam Page versus Pac, who I don't know if he's filling in. I know he's filling in Moxley's space, but I don't think this was going to be the match. A match that Moxley would have been in if he didn't get Mercer back in his elbow. But needless to say, this is going to be another great match. This is what had everybody yapping a few months ago for All Out, and of course we didn't get that match because Pac backed out because he was Dragon Gate's whatever champion and thought it was a bad look to come to America and potentially lose in a match to Adam Page. Page since then went on to challenge, be in the first ever number one contenders match for the AEW heavyweight title, which he fought against Jericho and Jericho won. So he's come up a little bit since then. But this one's hard to say. I don't know if Pac is back in the company full time or if this is just him playing ball right now and filling in for Moxley. And if that's the case, in my eyes, I think Pac is going to win here because I would think AEW is trying to still. He's with AEW, but he's not right now. And I'm sure they're doing everything to keep Pac happy. So I would think him going over Page right now would be something to keep Pac happy. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Great match. It's going to be great. Can't wait to watch it. But Pac over Hangman Page. Next up, this is pretty cool of Cody to be doing for the inaugural show. It's going to be Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara is a very talented wrestler, young up-and-comer. He's been wrestling for a while now. I used to watch him on Lucha Underground until he did that sick backflip off the second stage balcony, trying to land on Jack Hager, and he didn't exactly catch him, and he shattered his ankle. That was the last time I saw him there, but it was a great signee picking this kid up. This has a lot of potential too. Sammy is a very athletic, talented kid. I think this is going to clash a little bit with Cody Rhodes' style, who wrestles kind of old school. And after his knee injury, he seemed to really tone down the few, I wouldn't say flips, but the jumps and aerial stuff that he would do. So this Cody will be, I think, very ground-based, and Sammy will be, of course, his aerial south. Now, do I think Sammy's going to beat Cody here? No. It's not going to happen. It's going to be Cody Rhodes over Sammy Guevara. Next up, we're getting MJF. Great mouthpiece. He's kind of like a more a-hole version of The Rock from back in the day. He's got a future, but he's not a very tall guy. So it's AEW, though. It's not WWE. So no, his future looks bright. And we're going to finally see Brandon Cutler in a match. Brandon Cutler, I don't think he's everybody's friend in AEW. But if you watch Being the Elite, he's the butt of everybody's jokes. Even kind of the Young Bucks. So, yeah, Brandon's going to finally get to show his stuff here. But I think this is going to be MJF pretty much embarrassing Brandon Cutler, verbally and physically. And I think MJF is going to obviously come out on top. What else? What else to expect on AEW Dynamite's debut? Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose in WWE, is announced to appear at the event, but I wouldn't expect him to be wrestling anybody. Maybe he'll do a run and attack somebody. He's got Mercer in his elbow. It's a very serious thing. A few years back, it almost took out 4 or 5 players in the Bucks. I think one guy lost his toe. I mean, you can die from it, and this is like his second stint with it. So yeah, he'll be there to help pop ratings. He's a great on the mic as well. He'll probably cut a promo. Maybe he'll come out and interfere and beat up Omega in that match, and that's maybe how they lose to Jericho and LAX. Because, yeah, they are, through promos, continuing their feud for the match that they never had. There are potential surprise debuts to draw some buzz as well. Cody stated, I believe, on Being the Elite that there are more names to come. And didn't they tease 2 former WWE World Champions are going to show up? And one was a given. It's already being ruined on YouTube, the social media. But he kind of ruined it himself months back, just before Double or Nothing. And this person is Jack Hager. The Bucks the Elite were courting him back then. They were showing up at his MMA fights. Hager basically let it out in a shoot interview that Moxley was joining AEW and was debuting at Double or Nothing. And the guy's like, well, when are you debuting? He's like, well, there's 2 of us coming in. And I think they don't want 2 guys ruining like the shine or whatever of Moxley's debut, and I'm coming in at a later date. And when was Double or Nothing? 4 or 5 months ago. So it was always he basically ruined his surprise too that he was joining AEW. So one was definitely be Jack Hager, and his, like I said, stock has gone up tremendously. If you didn't think he was a tough guy in the WWE, he just beat the crap out of somebody in like 15 seconds in MMA. I believe he's undefeated, like a 2 or 3 record, and he's wrestling again here pretty soon. Oh yeah, who could possibly be the other WWE World Champion? You tell me. That could be anything. I mean, maybe they're bringing Bret Hart again back to do some promo or something in the ring. Of course, everybody wants to speculate and believe that it's CM Punk, but the recent conversations between Punk, where was he recently, and he basically came up with this crap how AEW didn't approach him right, and then Cody fired back a day or two later and basically said AEW is done dealing with CM Punk. He made us look stupid multiple times now, which he has. And he basically said he thinks he's using them to gain leverage with the WWE to get more money. So if Punk shows up, boy, is that going to be a swerve. But I don't think it's happening. But like I said, who else could it be? What could it be? Like I said, it ain't going to be Ric Flair because it looks like WWE has locked down Ric Flair. He was rumored to be the guy to debut the belt at Double or Nothing instead of Bret Hart, but he got his strokes or his heart attacks. So like I said, who's out there right now on the free market, unsigned, that could show up as an ex-WWE champion? Batista? Would he do that? I don't know. So I guess we're going to have to like cross our fingers here and hope for the best. It would be so super cool if CM Punk showed up. And you'd think if CM Punk shows up and is signed with AEW, that they would land AJ too, right? That would be a huge win for AEW. So I'm trying to think. Like I said, one thing that's hurting them, like I said though in the beginning, is they need bigger names to join the roster. Like I said, who can that possibly be though? There are people still left out on the market. Matt Taven's contract just went up with Ring of Honor, but supposedly WWE and Impact wanted him to, but he chose and he re-signed with Ring of Honor. So like I said, I don't know how many free agents there are on the market right now. I know they have interest in Brian Cage, but I don't think Brian Cage is going anywhere anytime soon. He's under contract. I think Killer Cross is free right now, but he's not a world champion from WWE. So anyway, they need to get a few more roster spots filled with some names. Tomorrow night's going to be great. 8 o'clock, TNT. Be there. History in the making. NXT, of course, is also, I think they're airing for 2 hours on the USA Network tomorrow to compete with AEW. I'll be recording. I still haven't watched the first 2 episodes of NXT. I've seen clips on YouTube. I know all about it. I know what's happened, but I still have yet to watch them. So I will not be watching NXT. I will be watching AEW and supporting them tomorrow. Hopefully you do too. That's what DVRs are for, people. So anyways, guys, that is it for now. That is my thoughts on AEW. I want nothing but good things for them. Cross our fingers they get Punk tomorrow. And I'm once again hopeful about wrestling. Like I said, I've been recording Raw, and I'm in these groups online, and people say Raw has been good recently, but the highlights don't look good to me. And I've been disappointed with them for so long. Bad everything all around. 1 or 2 good shows a year does not make a good product. And pay-per-views. I don't even know why I still pay for the network when I watch like 2 pay-per-views a year. So anyways, like I said, I'm hopeful again. I miss my Lucha Underground. I'm glad Impact Wrestling has a TV. Well, they had TV before. It was on the Pursuit channel. But who the hell has the Pursuit channel? If you don't know, they were on TV tonight, and I forgot to order the Access channel on my cable company doesn't carry it regularly, so that'll be an extra channel I have to pay for to watch wrestling. And I miss wrestling, or Impact Wrestling, so much. Just watching the clips on YouTube, they have been killing it. And even before they lost their deal with whoever, Pop TV, They were killing it then. They've been killing it for 3 or 4 years. That is another wrestling product. I've been saying it forever. How can you like wrestling and not support Impact Wrestling? Not even remotely watch them. So like I said, Impact now is on Access TV with New Japan Pro Wrestling, WOW, Women's of Wrestling, if you don't know what that is, and somebody else. There's some other wrestling, I believe, on there too. So if you're a wrestling fan, you would want the Access channel. But anyways, guys, that is it for now. Once again, those are my thoughts on tomorrow night's Wednesday Night Dynamite. I keep wanting to say Tuesday because that was originally going to be their program night. Hit like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of AEW. Tell me what match you're looking forward to. Like I said, all those tomorrow are going to be good. But you can't say you're not looking forward to Kenny Omega and the Bucks versus Jericho and LAX. That's probably it for me. My top pick. But anyways, like I said, hit like down there, guys. I'll get into some other stuff later. YouTube is changing forever coming January 1st, if you don't know about it. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it right now. I already talked to Christian about it earlier. That's a subject for another time. Anyways, guys, hit like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification button for so you don't miss any future content. There you go. And I will catch you tomorrow night for the mall show. I'm going to the mall show. They're advertising the Rapture. It's not Culture Inc. Maybe it is Culture Inc. I don't know. They're new. They've only been there for 2 or 3 shows. And it's supposed to steal the show. That's what they're promoting. It's supposed to make history tomorrow night. So I'm going to go there and watch that. And I'll post the video on the channel. So, like I said, Mad Viking out. I will see you guys tomorrow.